is Jesse Mwai. Again, great pleasure to share with you a few words of wisdom, and especially from the Holy Scriptures. Today, I want to share something that is very important, and that is think before you act. Think before you jump into conclusions. Think before you do that thing, because too many times, many people end up doing things and making decisions, jumping into some arguments, jumping into a conversation without really thinking through what they're getting themselves into. So think before you act. And I'll just share with you maybe just a few pointers on why that is important. Now, first of all, every situation has a context. Every situation, whatever you walk into in this life, there is a context behind it. So the first thing that you must always do when you come into any situation that maybe stirs you up or starts a certain emotion in you, first try and get the context. Try and understand. Slow down. Be slow to speak, as the scripture says. Try and understand what is going on here. Ask the right question. Get the facts straight. Before then, you can be able to jump in, or before you're able to make that decision, before you're able to say something. When you come into a conversation, for example, before you jump in and you start throwing your words and start throwing your arguments, try and understand first. In other words, listen in, so that you can understand the context, so that by the time you are offering your opinion, it is an informed opinion. Think before you act. Because if you don't do that, sometimes we jump into things and then we end up hurting people. We end up saying things that we ought not to say. We end up injuring people. Relationships have been broken because somebody jumped into conclusions. Somebody did something, said something without really understanding the context that they were actually dealing with. So the first thing, understand, get the context, understand what you're getting yourself into instead of just jumping into the situation. But then secondly, we live in a culture that is so sensational. We are a sensational kind of a people. And in this day and age of the internet and social media, a lot of us are losing our handle on truth, facts. Get your facts straight. Base your arguments or base your opinions on things that are factual. Not just things that you have assumed, not just because somebody said it or that person said this, then it must be true. Just because somebody posted it online does not necessarily mean or suggest that it is true. And it is a foolish thing sometimes to get into something sometimes that is based on half-truths or no truths at all. And then you're there, you invest your emotion in it, you invest your energy in it, and you begin saying all kinds of things, and yet you are arguing on something that is not factual, that is actually not true. And so many of us these days are making that mistake. And sometimes you end up hurting other people. And what you're doing is you're just hurting other people on things that are actually not true. So before you do anything, think before you act. Think before you say anything. If we were to think before we act, we were to think before we speak, I assure you, probably we would not say 90% of the things that we end up saying. If we were to do that, probably we will not do 90% of the things that we'll probably end up doing. If only we would just take a few moments to think, ask yourself the right questions, find out what are the facts of this particular issue. It will save you so much trouble, so much heartache. It will probably also preserve good relationships that you have, because then you'll not just be jumping into conclusions. It will make you a better person. It will make you a better communicator, and it will make you somebody who is more respectable and somebody who is worthy of being respected. So think before you act. Please share this video with as many as possible so that we can all be able to challenge one another on this area. God bless you.